Welcome to SATV News. This is Nouri Alamin with the headlines. BNP is working tirelessly to fulfill electoral pledges, said Ruhul Kabir Rizvi. Government has completed its 180-day honeymoon period, said Education Minister. Several key challenges identified. No specific information on Sheikh Hasina's status in India, said Chief Prosecutor. Government moves to bring Hasina back through legal procedure. Now in details. BNP is working tirelessly to fulfill its electoral pledges, and the government will never back down from ensuring overall national development and meeting public expectations, said Ruhul Kabir Rizvi, political advisor to the Prime Minister and a member of BNP National Standing Committee. He also made this remark at an exchange of views marking the government 180 days at International Conference Center, Shapla, at the Prime Minister's office in Tesgao today. He also said, earning the people's trust is the core politics of BNP. Earlier, PMO spokesperson Mahdi Amin presented statistics on the government activities and achievement over the past 180 days. Prime Minister's Press Secretary Saleh Shibli moderated the program. Education Minister A&M Ihsanul Haq Milon has said the government has completed its first time 180 days, which he described as the honeymoon period. And he also used the time to identify several key challenges facing the country's education sector. Milon, during a program at City Hotel, also questioned the way of the QS University ranking assess institutions, arguing that greater consideration should be given to universities across South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation region. The Education Minister also questioned why private universities in Bangladesh have not yet been able to introduce PhD program on a wider scale. Besides, the minister said Bangladesh has many talented researchers whose knowledge and expertise contribute to the development and of other countries, but the country has failed to identify the retain them. He also further added that government is now focusing on identifying researchers and strengthening Bangladesh higher education and research capacity. Battery-powered rickshaws will be brought under a registration system, and the batteries must be charged using solar power to qualify for registration, said State Minister for Local Government Mir Shah Alam. He also said rickshaw changed using electricity from sources other than solar power will not be registered to have their registration renewed. The State Minister made this remark today during a review meeting on the use of solar power in department, organization and institution under the Ministry of Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperative at the Local Government Division. The meeting reviewed the expansion of solar power used at government offices and institutions. He also efficient use of renewable energy and measures to reduce electricity consumption. The Shah Alam said city corporation and municipalities would be responsible for registering battery-powered rickshaw instead of Bangladesh Road Transport Authority. He also further added that e-rickshaw owner will have submit a new fitness certificate each year when renewing their registration. Chief Prosecutor of the International Crime Tribunal, Muhammad Aminul Islam, said Bangladesh had no specific information on exact status or legal process involving former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who is in India, but she could be brought back through legal channel. Responding to a question today, Aminul Islam said Hasina is a convicted person and necessary steps have been taken to bring her back to the country through the legal process. Asked about the Indian media report suggesting that a court permission might be required for Hasina, Aminul Islam said the report didn't clarify whether she was in India under political asylum or another status. The government has already applied for the Indian government to bring her back. The request for her extradition is a legal process, and the government has taken the necessary steps to bring her back through that process. He further remarked, the International Crime Tribunal sentenced her to death for a crime against humanity committed during the July mass uprising in 2024. The Appellate Division has deferred until August 31 the hearing on whether an appeal filed by death row convict Maulana Abul Kalam Azad against his wife crime conviction is legally admissible. The court will also consider a petition seeking an extension of his stay on death sentence. A three-member bench of the Appellate Division, headed by Justice Muhammad Rizal Haq, set the new date today. Senior lawyer Ihsan Siddiq appeared for Azad, while International Crime Tribunal Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Aminul Islam represented the state. Azad was sentenced to death in absentia by International Crime Tribunal on January 21st in 2013 for crimes against humanity committed in different parts of Faridpur during the 1971 Liberation War. The verdict was the tribunal's first judgment in a war crime case since Bangladesh independence. During Monday's hearing, the prosecution opposed extending the stay on the sentence. Chief Prosecutor Aminul Islam argued that there was no precedent for the accepting an appeal in crime against humanity case after the statutory 30-day deadline has been expired. Azad's counsel, meanwhile, sought an extension of the stay on his death sentence. If everything goes as planned, the first unit for the Rupo nuclear power plant is expected to bring supplying electricity to the national grid on a trial basis in September. Initially, the unit will supply 300 megawatts of electricity. To meet the target, the final stage technical tests are now being carried out intensively at the power plant. If the trial supply is successful, the unit is expected to enter full commercial operation within the following few months, marking a new chapter in country's overall energy security. Bangladesh is currently facing a power generation crisis due largely to a shortage of gas for gas-fired power plant, resulting in increasing load shedding. Against this backdrop, the Rupur plant has repeatedly emerged as an alternative source of electricity. People are also waiting to see when the plant will begin supplying power to the national grid. According to sources, the uranium fuel has already been loaded into the Nitong for first unit. Heavy downpours coupled with high tidal surges northern Chattogram city today, causing severe public suffering and crippling transport network. The Potenga Meteorological Department recorded 189 millimeters of rainfall in the 24 hours until 9 a.m. today, with 81 millimeters falling in just 3 hours between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Forecasting officer warned that a low pressure activity and active monsoon winds could prolong the rain for another 2 to 3 days. Major commercial and residential area, including the Katalganj, the Bakolia, Chowk Bajar, New Market, Riajuddin Bajar, Kapashgola, Agrabad, Halishohor, and Chandagao were inundant with the water reaching knee to waist level in some places. Water lodging was also reported in Akhtar Zaman Chaudhuri flyover, showing traffic. An ongoing gas shortage further weighed upon the situation, keeping many seen to run auto rickshaw off the road and leaving office goer and students struggling to find support. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panto.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan.
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really come to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because
Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. Iran's top negotiator and parliament speaker Mohammad Bakir Khalifa on Sunday declared the United States and said Israel failed to achieve any of the goal in recent war against Iran. And he said Tehran had emerged the victorious. Iran won the war, the Khalifa said at media event broadcast from Iran's parliament. In an unjust war led by United States and Zionist regime, our nation stood and fought bravely with an open heart and without expecting anything in return, he also added. Khalifa's remark aimed as Iranian officer continued to frame the conflict as a defensive struggle against foreign aggression. He didn't provide specific on what objective he believed Washington and Jerusalem had failed to meet. Meanwhile, an Iranian military commander offered a $30,000 bounty to Iranian combatant in exchange for killed or captured U.S. soldier. The Tasnim news agency reported. Iranian Army Commander-in-Chief Amir Hatami said during a speech in Tehran that any Iranian who capture or kill a U.S. service member would receive the reward from Iranian people. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghi said on Monday that talks with Oman were continuing but taking time because of complexity of the issues, an effort by some actor to undermine the process, adding the diplomatic effort were underway over the three Iranian pilots Qatar said that violated its airspace. Qatar denied on Saturday that it was holding the pilot, saying they had violated Qatari airspace earlier this year and failed to respond to attempt to contact them. Tensions remained high after Iran on Saturday asked Washington to assert defeat, while U.S. President Donald Trump called Tehran very evil and urged Americans to prepare for sustained high fuel prices. Since the war between Iran and the United States began on February, Washington has imposed additional maritime, energy and financial sanctions and launched a naval blockade on Iranian port. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday praised the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement between Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan will group senior ministers hold joint exercises and deepen defense industry cooperation under the military pact signed between the regional power earlier this month. The three Sunni Muslim U.S. allies armed the regional configuration that the broad Iranian missile fire onto Gulf oil exporter signed to Mecca Joint Defense Agreement on August 7. They said the accord stipulated that an armed attack against any member would be regarded as an attack on all, similar to NATO Article 5 collective defense clause. U.S. President Donald Trump envoy and son-in-law Jared Kushner met with the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Sunday. The two discussed development in the Middle East and the effort to end the war in Gaza, a press released by the Egyptian presidency said. The meeting was also attended by Egypt's foreign minister and head of the Israel intelligence service. A senior Israel officer said that Kushner and Trump board on the pitch envoy for Gaza, the Nikolai, the Maldonov, were scheduled to meet on Monday with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who on August 9 said Trump's latest roadmap for Gaza pitch was unacceptable. Trump pitch plan called for immediate cessation of military operation in Gaza. It forces Hamas disarming as Israel troops withdraw from enclave and Gaza is rebuilt under a new civilian Palestinian administration. Israel has resumed airstrike in past few days after scaling back. At least 7 people have died and more than a dozen have been injured in a stampede-like incident caused by a falling electricity pole at the Ashok Dam temple in the Luxury in India, eastern state of Bihar, official on Monday. The incident occurred amid a rush of devotees at temple to offer water to Hindu god Shiva during the holy month of Shivaram. Family for the victim were seen at the district hospital where injured victim and bodies were brought in the aftermath on incident. At least 5 people were injured in that incident. India's history of crowd incident include 300 deaths at the giant Mohakumbh festival last year when tens of millions gathered to bathe in scared water. Heavy fighting broke out in Bauda, Somalia on Monday between federal troops and armed opposition group. According to local media outlet, militants loyal to former regional administration launched an offensive from 2 directions, engaging the federal ministry until session in the city. Residents reported intensified fighting in parts of city center as the confrontation escalated. Fresh fighting in the city could worsen an already dire humanitarian situation. The Bauda hosts hundreds of thousands of displaced people and 1 of 4 children at displacement city. There are several malnourished and according to July start for the mainstream San Frontis. Federal troops have been in control of the city since March when they seized it, prompting Southwest State leader the Abdiaziz Hassan Mohamud, known as Lafargin, to resign. Hundreds of Ukrainians rallied in central Kiev on Sunday to demand the reinstatement on ousted Defense Minister Mykola Fedorov. The protesters holding the cardboard sign called for a direct dialogue between civil society and government. The military version, a protest organizer, the Kamso, said rally was intended to remind President Volodymyr Zelensky of his responsibility for personal decision and call for continued defense reform launched under Fedorov. He also delivered a petition demanding the continuation for the defense sector reform began under Fedorov's tenure. The petition was later formally handed over to representatives from the president's office. Protesters also called on lawmakers to return from vacation and vote on reinstating Fedorov. Sunday rally marked 1 month since protests over Fedorov's dismissal began in Kiev and other Ukrainian cities on July 16. Flood water submerged homes and inundated roads in Manila on Monday as the southwest monsoon, known locally as Habagat, brought heavy rain across Philippine northern island of Luzon. Residents were seen wading through the deep flood water and some homes were inundated up the second floor. Residents said the water rose rapidly following heavy rainfall, and the water rose really fast. It happened suddenly because of heavy downpour, said the 26-year-old resident, the Jerome Valencia. Another resident, Ronald Reyes, said flood water reached the chest level earlier, and situation was very much difficult for residents. The enhanced monsoon continued to bring heavy rain across Metro Manila and several areas in Luzon, with the Philippine Weather Bureau monitoring a low pressure area that entered the Philippine area of responsibility on Sunday. Two people died and several others injured on Sunday as fast-moving wildfire swept through the Greek island of the Salamina west on Athens on the biggest holiday weekend for the summer, authorities said. Firefighter found two bodies near the Persinsus area. It was absolute devastation, said a local.
Deviation from the plan.
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity.
Were being taken to port of the fire. The fire instead 260 firefighter, 58 vehicles and 15 forest commander team were batting to fire and broke out Palestinian and Salenia shortly before 3 p.m. and supported by 10 aircraft and 8 helicopters. Before ending, we go through the SATV News headlines again. BNP is working tirelessly to fulfill electoral pages, said Ruhul Kabir Rizvi. Government has completed its 180-day honeymoon period, said Education Minister. Several key challenges identified. No specific information on Sheikh Hasina's status in India, said Chief Prosecutor. Government moves to bring Hasina back through legal procedure. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.